that? I dropped some boilies down and I had a smash. Wow. This camera should have got that. I just threw a handful of boilies in and all of a sudden the rod tip just went boom.
Sometimes there's so many fish moving through, I get like foul hook fish.
any corn in your channel? Or are you just gonna
go with the boilies for now?
Just for now, I'll do boilies.
That was definitely not the current.
No, it's out there. I may have to do some sharper rigs. Those hooks might not be sharp from last week.
Well, that's good if you've had 2 whacks already.
Yeah, and they were like savage whacks.
They should be around then.
I might have to take those hooks off and put new ones on. Good morning. A little bit loud, but I think the noise will be worth it today. There's going to be a lot of vehicle traffic going by on the highway here. But the lines have been in like 4 minutes, and we've already had 3 big smacks. I've had one on my left rod, one on my right rod, and Dave's had a good whack over there while he's spotting. We literally just put them out. I flung some boilies out over each line. He's spotting some corn. The fish are here. Now this is Dave's spot. This is the first time I've actually fished this swim. I have fished this area, but much further over this way, and not for years. Oh, I'm getting bumps on the left-hand rod. So yeah, Dave has been watching this spot steady. He had a couple of blanks in a row. Then he came down when he knew the wind was right. He had all the conditions that he wanted, and he smacked his first 20 of the year and a double run of 2 mid to high doubles. He messaged me yesterday and said, hey, I went and took a look at all of our spots in this area, and the fish were boshing out here. So the idea is get down here, get lines in, hopefully get into a few good fish, possibly some big ones. There may be some special treats that are out here. We have heard of mirrors, maybe the odd buffalo. So it'll be pretty exciting if any of those actually turn up. What I'm hoping to avoid is catfish. Apparently there's a lot of big catfish in here, and I don't want to catch any of those. So yeah, we're gonna finish setting up. Literally we just kind of smacked everything together so we could get lines out, and I may have to change to some sharper rigs already. A couple of big whacks and no hookups yet. Either my leads aren't big enough or my hooks aren't sharp enough. I may have to change this early in the game. So the next missed bite, that rod will come in and get an adjustment. But I'm going to make my adjustments quick and early so that I don't miss any more opportunities. So yeah, stick around, it should be exciting. Current's just hitting those 2 now. I thought that was the current. I totally thought that was the current. I was watching both of them move. The tips were both just starting to move as the current started to push into them. That was cool. If you wouldn't mind, Dave, I'd love a net when you're ready. Yep. Not big. Oh, that's not small. He's bigger than I thought, maybe. No, I'm good. I'm good, buddy. You want to just make a good shot. That's a good fish. He came in like a wet sock, and then he jumped.
Well, the water is pretty. The water feels a little colder than it was the other day.
It's a high double. Yeah, that's a mid to high double there, buddy. Well, first fish is in. Now we have a boat coming in. But the first fish is in. We just noticed the current change, and I thought it was the current moving the rods. And no, it was a fish. Not a bad start to the day. Really pleased with that for the first bite. Well, the first hookup, let's say. So I'm gonna get that rod back out. We're gonna keep going. Hopefully we can get in some bigger ones. That was not the rod I was expecting to go. Wow, I got a wicked drop out there too. Like a good hard drop. I thought that would be silty. It's not silty out there. So that will need a battery change soon. Drop back. Rod. Fish wants to scrap.
Might be a smaller one then.
I don't know. He's got some weight to him.
Are you gonna be able to land the between the two rods?
Yeah. As long as I have a net in reach.
Yeah.
I'll try and bring it in.
Magic corn.
Hopefully. Got a glimpse in it.
Head shake? I feel good, the weight is off. Like obviously we got the blanket out of the way. I don't know if I should move around more with it, or like take a shot over your shoulder or something, or
Definitely a way better fight than the first fish. little smaller, I think.
Yeah. That's what I thought. That's good though. It's like 5 minutes since the other bite.
Now he's in that current.
Got him.
Well, a much smaller fish, but a much more intense fight. This fish battled, and look at the color on it. Some neat scales on the back on this side. Really, really pretty fish. Really happy with that. And that was only 5 minutes after we put the last one back. So now the right-hand rod and the middle rod have had a fish. I guess it's time for the left-hand rod to go. But both absolute stunning fish.
I think if you switch to a pop-up in the channel,
You think that'll make a difference?
I have so much confidence in the channel, John.
Well, I get lots of activity. Okay, so a bit of an update. It's been maybe 20 minutes, half hour since that last fish. For some reason, Dave has not had one yet, but he had a nice one rise, so he's popped his right-hand rod over to where he saw that showing fish. He cranked in his left-hand rod, and unfortunately it was tangled, so he's redone that. Now, I've not fished this place before. Like I said, I've fished over the other side, but never right here. So everywhere my line is, and everything I'm doing is on Dave's advice. He's convinced that my left-hand rod fishing into this deep channel to my left is going to be the rod. Like, that's where that special capture is going to come from. And there has been a lot of liner activity on it, like a couple of good whacks. Just a moment ago, the rod pulled right over and then right back. So there's definitely fish moving through and bumping the line. Currently, that is the only rod with a bottom bait. My other two rods that I've had fish on now are pop-ups over Ronnie rigs. So the left-hand rod has had more activity than any other rod, yet I've not had a hookup. And I mentioned early on that I was going to make changes as needed. That is also the only rod I put a heavy lead on. There's a 90-gram lead on that one, so just over 3 ounces. So now, at this point, Dave's advice is that I should have a pop-up in the channel, in that deep spot, because he's convinced that is the spot to be, and that's why he put me on the corner here. That's why he's got me casting where I'm casting. I'll tell you right now, it's been amazing. The fact that we've had 2 fish and so much liner activity. We've seen a few fish rise, but we're having a lot of fun. You know, just had a nice little snack. My wife was kind enough to make me a lunch to bring with me today. I can only assume that she's up to something, because why else make my lunch for me? I usually forget to eat when I'm fishing anyway, so maybe it's just that she doesn't want me to come home cranky. But anyway, I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a special day so far. I'm really, really happy with how this is going. keeping in touch with with some of our friends, like Sean Martin of Carping with the Martins. He's had 3 fish so far today. One was like a mid-double, and then he had a brace of 20s. One was 23 pounds, one was 29 pounds 5 ounces. So he almost hit the 30. And out of our group of friends that are all chatting together, all from the Carp Society, we're just waiting to see who's going to have the first 30. Everybody was putting their money on Sean. He came close. Personally, I think Simon will probably have it. Simon from Carp Kit, because he's fishing some big water. But we really can't rule ourselves out, because Dave and I and Kevin and I, the 3 of us seem to be getting on to big fish, and we're just picking out those smaller ones in between. So it's only a matter of time. A 30 is going to come out soon. We've just started May, so this is the time when the big girls come out. Hopefully today. I think that was a good update. What do you think? You think pop-up, eh?
There's something really bright.
Like this?
Yeah.
That's a size 4 hook. A little bit more separation than I would normally like on a rig, but all right, Dave. You've told me to do it, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to put a pop-up on that one. I'll take the bottom bait off, even though I really want to catch on a bottom bait. You hurry up and catch the fish. I suppose we're long overdue for an update. It's just coming up on 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Conditions have changed. We had a pretty unfortunate issue with every kayaker that's come into this bay has decided to go over our lines, and one in particular, she felt the need to drop her anchor. Every time she circled around and wanted to drop her anchor, she dropped it on one of my spots, like one of my lines that are out there. And you know, when I finally tried to be the polite one and just let her know, hey, like, you keep dropping your anchor on my spots, like you're literally 20 yards out from us. She couldn't hear me, so she paddled towards me right up one of the other lines to let me know that she couldn't hear me. So I informed her again, you know, kind of give us some more space, please. Like, you're on our lines. So she very politely agreed and decided to paddle away, not without hooking into 2 of my rods with her anchor, because she was paddling around dragging her anchor, and took out my lines. So I had to redo them. And yeah, after all that happened, we even stopped seeing shows. There was at one point, about 200 yards straight out south of us, we saw, we don't know if it was the same fish or just 2 big fish, but there was 2 big breaches that came out. Fish came straight up, straight down, big splash. But that's the last sign of fish we've seen for quite a while. Dave's swim hasn't had so much as a knock since he started. You know, I've had some whacks and bumps and things like that, but nothing that's materialized into a take like the ones we had first thing this morning. And with the wind really howling on us, it went from northwest, which had this bay nice and calm, and it was very peaceful this morning, to just at the snap of a finger, spun around to come from the southeast, and now it's just hammering us. And it's a cool wind, so it's uncomfortable. I do like to think that this will push the fish into us, but I don't know if I want to stick around long enough for it. You know, I'd like to go home and spend some time with the kid. I am going to be fishing again tomorrow morning. So I kind of have to weigh my options. Do I stick it out until we know the fish are going to turn up? Or do I go home, get some proper rest, change out the gear, and get ready for tomorrow's session, which will be a shorter session? It's a tough call to make, but what's important is Dave chose this spot because he saw fish activity. We came here, we had fish. It's been a good day, it's been a fun day. We didn't get the 30-pound buffalo we were hoping for, which is a shame. One day I'll catch a buffalo. I've still never had one before. We're probably in about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to start to just clean up my gear because I just spread it out as a mess when we got here, and I never bothered to do anything about it after. So I'm going to get myself tidied up and organized, and then we'll go from there. If any other fish show up, we'll let you know. If not, we'll wrap it up here. Not expecting that to happen. Did you even hear it?
No, man, like everything is just a blur, like the waves and the blackbirds, everything's like, the whole time we were here I thought I was hearing alarms go off. Half the time it was just red-winged blackbirds.
I heard yours all of a sudden when I looked over and the bobbin was pressed up against your alarm and your reel was just screaming.
This is the last rod I expected to hold on.
Is that the one on your,
This is my distance rod.
on your baited spot? I just put away one rod, and that was in. Oh, man, that was.
Maybe it'll be a 30-pound buffalo.
The audio is going to be horrible. Dark fish. About the size of my second one.
I didn't blank.
You didn't blank.
I gave up, but I didn't.
That's a decent fish. That's kind of like the first one, eh?
I had basically given up on the day when we already finished taking apart half of our pods and putting things away, and then John tells me my rod's going off. So I didn't blink. I wish the day had gone a little bit better, but with the way the wind was the last day and a half and the temperatures, I think we did okay. At the end of the day, I think we did okay. This is the 1st of May, and we got lots of fishing ahead of us yet.